So tonight we are going to be taking things slow again as last week. So if you haven't got them already, you will need a blanket and a pillow or a bolster. And if you've got something like an eye pillow, then that would be lovely as well. Now, normally we take our shoes, obviously take our shoes off, we take our socks off for yoga. But actually, when we're being kind of cozier and really trying to have this like concept of wintering, then we can keep socks on for a little bit longer just to really keep that warmth. So we're going to start off lying down in Shavasana, but in a supported Shavasana, because we want to really nurture ourselves at this time of year, particularly when there's a lot of sort of infections around and we're all often a little bit more run down. So bringing your bolster or your pillow to come underneath your knees. So you're going to lie down. If you've got a pillow for under your head, you can take that if that feels comfortable for you. And then you're going to take your blanket and you're going to cover yourself in it, and you're just going to get really nice and cozy. And try to stay awake, but if you fall asleep, there's usually a reason for it. So just lying down, making yourself comfortable, resting the knees or legs into the bolster or the pillow, and just supporting the lower back. And then if you have got an eye pillow, just bringing the eye pillow over the eyes and completely closing off the outside world. And bringing the hands onto the abdomen. I'm going to take a big breath in. And then exhale through the mouth, letting everything go. Now I'm going to consciously relax different bits of the body. So again, big breath in. And on the exhale, relaxing the shoulders. Melting them away from the ears. Inhaling through the nose, and then on the exhale, releasing the upper and the lower back, relaxing them and melting them into the floor. Big breath in, and on the exhale, relaxing the hips and the pelvis. Big breath in, and then on the exhale, melting the legs into your support. And tuning into how your body's feeling. Which parts of the body felt like you were gripping, felt like you were holding on to tension. And have a little scan through the body mentally. Anything that still feels like there's a sense of gripping, there's a sense of tightness. And just using the exhale to try and release those areas one by one. Melting the body into your mat beneath you. And feeling yourself come into some sense of stillness. This time of year, more than any other, is a time where we start to rush around and think about all the things we need to do. Sometimes all you need to do is actually just lie down and be still and breathe. And then checking in with your breathing. Where is your breath happening? If you're lucky and if you've had a calm month, you might be feeling that breath right down in your belly. But more likely perhaps further up, higher up in the ribs. And this is where we breathe when we feel more rushed and we feel more tense. It doesn't use the full capacity of our lungs, so we have to breathe more. And with every breath, we expend energy. So if we take the time to breathe more deeply, breathe more fully, we actually save energy. We take less breaths in the day, but the breaths that we take are deeper and more fulfilling and more nourishing to the body. And so if you can really draw the breath down into the abdomen, so using that full capacity, using the diaphragm to draw the lungs down and to push the abdomen. And again, just softening anything into the ground that feels like it needs softening. And taking a final few moments here, just consciously breathing. And when we move, we're not going to be moving into our practice as quickly as we do when we are in our full flowing sequence. But all that we're going to do is bring the soles of the feet onto our support, so onto your bolster or onto your pillow. Keeping your blanket on, keeping that warmth. And then just going to draw one knee and then the other in towards the chest. And just have a little rock from side to side. And then you're going to cross your legs where you are, so kind of in midair. And then you're going to rest them back down on your support. So if crossing legs isn't comfortable for you, you can just kind of bring the ankles over one another. But we're going to just bring the legs back down to the bolster. So we're kind of taking like a very gentle cross-legged position. And you might find if cross-legged is something that's not comfortable for you, then actually in this experience of it, it's something that's more accessible. And then you're going to switch the cross of the legs over. So it's the other way around. So you've got the other leg in front. And again, just rest the legs back down on the bolster. And back on your pillow. I kind of call it a reclining cross-legged pose. And then bring both feet back onto the bolster, knees together. And when I say bolster, if you're using a pillow, that's what I'm referring to. And then take a big breath in, and on the exhale, drop the knees over to the right. So the knees could be supported by the bolster, they might be slightly off it. And then just turning the head to the left, stretching into the neck. Allowing this very gentle pressure on the abdomen. As previously mentioned, we do tend to start to overindulge and challenge our digestion at this time of year. So just putting a little bit of gentle pressure onto it helps speed that process up. Let's soothe it. And then inhaling the knees back to the center and then over to the left. And again, if it feels okay for the neck, looking over to the right side. And just that little gentle pressure on the abdomen in the opposite way. So our class on the 28th will probably have quite a focus on these gentle twists to help us digest some of our Christmas indulgence. And then inhaling the knees back up. And then you're going to roll over onto your side. So rather than come up, as we usually do, let's come up a little bit more slowly. And then from here, we'll press ourselves all the way up. And bring yourself up to your seat. You're going to take your bolster and or your pillow, and you're going to bring it in front of you. Now we can still use our blankets here, so take your blanket over your lap, and then what can be quite nice is just to tuck the excess around the knees, so it kind of provides a little bit of a cushion between the feet and the knees, just to kind of make that feel really nice and supportive. And then bringing the hands back down by the sides, just taking a couple of breaths to feel the length up through the spine, and then on the exhale, relaxing the shoulders down. So inhaling up through the spine, and then exhaling down. Inhaling, stretching both arms up, looking up. And then on the exhale, bringing the hands back down, looking down to the lap. Inhaling, stretching the arms up, looking up to the fingertips, up to the ceiling. And exhaling back down. Inhaling, stretching the arms up, looking up. And this time on the exhale, bringing the right hand down to the side, taking the left arm over. Now I'm going to hold this for a few more breaths than normal. So if the arm doesn't feel comfortable, you can either bring it onto the head, or you can sweep it down by the side and bring it down and just drop it into the neck a little bit more. Inhaling back up, both arms up. And then on the exhale, taking it in the opposite direction. Right arm over the head, stretching to the left side. So moving more slowly, moving more consciously throughout. Really dropping that right sit bone down to the ground, stretching out through that right side. And we will be doing lots of side stretches because we do a lot more sitting at this time of year. Inhaling both arms up. And then on the exhale, we're going to fold forwards onto our bolster, onto our pillow. And just use that support, resting the head down, perhaps adjusting it if it's not quite in the right position. And using the exhale, breathe everything out. Inhaling to press yourself back up. And then you're going to switch the cross of the legs, so it's the opposite way around. If you're not crossing the legs, then obviously staying in the same position. Hands back down by the sides. So inhaling up. And then on the exhale, bringing right hand down to the outside of the left knee, taking the left hand behind you. Very gentle twist. So again, using a few breaths here to unwind any tension. And then on the inhale, releasing back forwards, and exhale, taking it in the opposite direction. Taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, taking the right hand behind you. Stretching into the side of the neck. And then inhaling back forwards and exhaling, folding forwards onto the pillow or the bolster. Using the exhale to unwind any tension. And on the inhale, pressing yourself back up and moving your bolster or your pillow over to the side, out of the way. You will need it later on. And then we're going to come over onto hands and knees. And if you want to, you can probably manage to keep your blanket around you for this. I probably won't, because so you can see what I'm doing. So you can keep your blanket over you for ultimate coziness here. And we're just going to start doing some stretches into the spine, because we are more sedentary often. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhaling to draw the chest forwards, looking up. And on the exhale, pressing the head down, pressing the shoulders open. And just moving between one and the other with your breath. Stretching out. Easing out anything in the spine. Just taking the final couple of rounds. And coming back to a more neutral spine. And then from here, you should still be able to do this with your blanket on. It might be a bit trickier. I'm going to step the right foot out to the side. So just taking a little bit of a pulse into the hip. So foot is out to the side, a little bit like a kickstand for a bike. And then we're just rocking from one side to the other, just stretching into that hip joint. Again, another muscle that can be a bit tighter if we are more sedentary. And then taking that one back and bringing the left one up, and just doing the same on the opposite side. And just rocking from side to side, easing that hip out. And bringing the knee back down. And from here, just taking the knees a little bit wider, and you're going to drop back into your child's pose. Stretching the arms out in front, dropping the head down. Big breath in, and then exhale, releasing everything, melting into the mat. And then a couple of out breaths. And then inhaling to slightly lift up and walk the hands over towards and just off the left side of the mat. And then folding that down into your child's pose. And then perhaps just taking your right hand onto the top of the left. Particularly emphasizing the stretch in that right side. And then walking the hands back towards the middle, walking them over and off the right side of the mat, folding down again, and taking that left hand onto the top of the right, stretching into that left side of the body. And then inhaling, bringing the hands back to the center and walking them back towards you and bringing yourself slightly up. And then from here, you're going to tuck the toes underneath and then just bring yourself up into a little squat. And then from here, push yourself up into a very gentle forward fold. So knees bent, perhaps taking hold of the elbows and just taking a little rock from side to side. Stretching out the hamstrings. Again, using the exhale, sighing it out. And then from here, inhaling to roll up through the spine, keeping the head and neck until last. And then rolling through the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to step to the front of your mat if you're not there already. I'm going to be coming into our moon salutations again. So if you didn't do this class last week, we have done the moon salutations before, but they're just much less stimulating than sun salutations. So they're really nice for this time of year, and they're really nice for the evening as well. So stepping the feet hip distance apart. And from here, you're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, bring the hands together above the head. Exhaling, folding to the right, hands together still. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, twisting to the right, opening out. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling to the left, opening out. Inhaling back to center. And then on the exhale, folding forwards. And inhaling, we're going to roll up through the spine in the same way that we did just then. And then exhale, releasing the hands down by the sides. So these are half moon salutations. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Hands together. Exhale, bending to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, opening to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling back to center. And exhale, folding forwards into your forward fold. Inhaling, rolling all the way up through the spine rather than lifting. And then exhale, releasing the hands down by the sides. One more. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Hands together. Exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, opening to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhaling to center. Exhale, folding down. And then on the inhale, rolling all the way up through the spine. And exhale, releasing the shoulders down. We're going to start to build onto that now. So inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up, hands together. Exhaling, bending to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back to center. And on the exhale, we're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat and step out wide, taking the feet to a sort of 45-degree angle. On the inhale, sweeping the arms up. And then on the exhale, you're going to sit down into a squat, bringing the hands down through the center line. Inhaling, coming back up. And then from here, we're going to turn the left foot 45 degrees in. Take the right foot facing towards the end of the mat. Shift the hips over to the left and come into triangle pose. So bringing the right hand down, taking the left hand up. We're taking it a little bit slower, we'll do it faster when we've got the hang of where we're going. Inhaling back up, and then you're going to switch the feet facing the opposite way for triangle pose on the other side on the exhale. And then shifting the hips to the right, coming down into triangle pose on the left side. Inhaling, coming back up, feet pointing 45 degrees out again. Inhaling the arms up, sitting down into your squat. Inhaling back up. And then we're going to step again to the front of the mat. Arms up. Inhale. Exhale, opening out to that right twist. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, opening to the left. Inhaling back up. Exhale, folding down. And then on the inhale, rolling all the way up through the spine. And exhale, releasing the shoulders down. So it makes you realize how sort of second nature the sun salutations become when you start changing things. So inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up, hands together. Exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back to center. And then exhale, stepping to the long edge of the mat, feet facing out. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And on the exhale, sitting down into that squat. Inhale, coming back up. Taking left foot in, right foot facing the long edge of the mat. And then on the exhale, shifting the hips to the left, stretching to the right, coming into your triangle pose on the right side. From here, we're going to twizzle the feet round. So taking the left heel out slightly, right foot facing towards the right foot. You're going to either take hold of the elbows behind the back, or if it feels comfortable for you to come into that reverse prayer pose, you can do so. You're going to inhale to lengthen through the spine, and then on the exhale, fold forwards into the leg, into humble warrior pose. Inhale to pick that back up, keeping the arms where they are. And you're going to switch the feet facing in the opposite direction. Then inhale to open up the chest, and then exhale, folding forwards into your humble warrior on the opposite side. From here, you're going to release the left hand down towards the ground, lift the right arm up, coming straight into your triangle pose on the opposite side. So opening through the chest. And then inhale, lifting back up, bringing the toes to point at your 45-degree angle, which you know where we're going next. Inhale, sweeping up, sitting into that squat on the exhale. Inhale, coming back up. And then we're going to step back to the front of the mat on the exhale. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, opening out to the right. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, opening to the left. Inhaling back up. Exhale, folding forwards into your forward fold. And then on the inhale, rolling all the way up through the spine. And exhale, releasing the shoulders down. Building on. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, bending to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bending to the left. Inhaling back to center. And then exhale, stepping out wide, feet pointing 45 degrees out. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, sitting into that squat. Inhaling back up, arms out, left toe in, right toes out. And on the exhale, shifting the body weight to the side, coming into your triangle pose. On the inhale, lifting back up, turning the feet to face the right foot, taking the arms behind you, either in prayer pose or taking hold of the elbows. Inhale to open the chest, look up. And on the exhale, folding forwards, coming into your humble warrior. Breath in here. And then on the exhale, releasing both hands down to frame the foot. And dropping the left knee down onto the ground. From here, we're going to inhale and sweep the arms up, coming into low lunge. And exhale, bringing the hands back down. So lifting the back knee up, you're going to walk the hands around and you're going to come into your low lunge on the opposite side. So dropping the right knee down, and on the inhale, sweeping the arms up, coming into your low lunge on the opposite side. Exhaling the arms down. You're going to lift up, coming into your humble warriors, lifting all the way up, taking the arms behind you. Inhale to open the chest, and on the exhale, folding forwards into that humble warrior. Releasing the left arm down, taking the right arm up into your triangle pose. And then inhaling, picking yourself back up, pointing both toes out. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling, sitting down into that squat. Inhaling, coming back up and stepping to the front of the mat on the exhale. Inhaling, lifting the arms up. Exhaling, opening to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale, opening to the left. Inhale to center. And exhale, folding all the way down. And on the inhale, rolling all the way up. So just one more pose to add in, and then we have the sequence. So inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, folding to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, folding to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, stepping out wide, toes facing outwards. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And exhale, sitting down into your squat. Inhale, lifting back up, turning left foot in, right foot out, shifting into your triangle pose on the right side. From here, lifting up, turning the left heel out, turning to face the right foot, taking the elbows behind or the hands in prayer pose. Inhale to open through the chest, and then on the exhale, folding forwards into your humble warrior. Releasing the hands down to the ground, dropping the left knee down, and then inhale, sweeping up, coming into your low lunge pose. Exhaling down. So our final pose that we haven't yet added into the sequence is you turn the right foot in a little bit, and then you shift the weight onto the right side. So it's kind of I'm not sure how to describe it. It's sort of like a sort of squat on the right heel. If it doesn't feel comfortable, you can keep it up higher. And then walk it over to the left side. Again, sitting down on that heel. Nice stretch into the hamstring. And then from here, drop the right knee down. And on the inhale, sweeping up into that low lunge pose. On the exhale, bringing the hands down. Lifting the back foot up. And lifting all the way up. Taking the arms behind you. Inhale to open the chest, looking up. And then on the exhale, folding forwards into your humble warrior. Releasing left hand down towards the leg, lifting the right arm up, coming into triangle pose. And then on the inhale, lifting all the way back up. Toes facing outwards. Inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling, sitting into your squat. Inhaling all the way back up. And then stepping forwards to the front of the mat. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhaling to the right side. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to the left side. Inhaling to center. And then exhale, folding forwards and just taking an extra couple of breaths here. Bending the knees, taking hold of the elbows with the hands. Having a little sway, using the exhale. And on inhale, rolling all the way up through the spine. And just coming to stand, perhaps closing the eyes for a moment. Feeling the ground beneath you. Checking in with the body. And noticing the difference in feel from when we finish a round of sun salutations. Sun salutations, often the heart's racing. And while moon salutations do get the heart racing a little bit, not to the same extent. far calmer. So from here, inhale and step the feet wide, bringing the hands onto the hips. So facing the long edge of the mat and coming into a little standing forward fold sequence. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit, if you know that your hamstrings are a little bit tricky, then do so. You're going to inhale and lengthen. And then on the exhale, folding forwards, coming into that forward fold. If you have got your, I said this before you came down, if your bolster is not a million miles away, what you can do here is you can come down onto it just to make it, your pose, a little bit more restful. So still getting that stretch through the hamstrings, but just with a little more support. And in the pose. And from here, we're going to inhale and just come up to a flat back, so not all the way up. And we're just going to shift the weight again back over to the left. And then taking it to the right. This is where if you've got your bolster or your pillow, you can just walk along it. Just taking it from one side to the other, just easing into the hips. And then if it feels okay, seeing if you can drop down to that left squat. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then just keeping it high, if that feels better. And you can see if you can walk the hands forwards, stretching that out. Of course, if at any point things don't feel right, then this is just backing out of them. Coming back up, taking it over to the right hand side. Again, stretching the arms out in front if that feels okay. And then lifting back up to your forward fold, folding back down for a moment again, releasing the head, giving the head a little bit of a shake. And then bringing the hands onto the waist, and from here, inhaling, coming all the way back up. Taking the hands into the base of the spine, pressing the hands into the base of the spine, drawing the elbows together, looking up, opening through the chest. Big breath in, and then exhale, releasing everything. From here, walking the feet a little bit in towards each other, and then you're going to come down into your squat, and then from here, come down all the way onto the ground and coming into the seat. So when we have these kind of wintering sequences, it's far fewer standing poses, far more floor work. So we're going to come into our bound angle pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together, and depending on tightness in the groin and in the hips, you can choose how closely you pull the heels towards the groin. If it's all quite tight, you can take it a little bit more loosely. Hands can go onto the shins, hands can go around the feet, depending on what feels comfortable. And then just allowing the knees to drop out. And we're just going to make it a little bit jiggly to begin with. So just jiggling the knees up and down and just taking it a little bit side to side, perhaps even pressing the elbows into the legs just to help them open out into the groin a little bit. And then from here, inhaling to lengthen up. And then on the exhale, coming forwards, making sure we keep that length in the spine, pressing the arms into the legs if that feels okay, and just encouraging the groin to open very gently. If anything doesn't feel comfortable, then obviously backing out of it. Inhaling, coming back up, drawing both legs together, and then taking one foot and then the other out in front of you. shifting the flesh away from the sit bones. A little bit of a bend into the knees. And then inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. And then exhale, folding forwards, coming into your forward fold. So forward folds are very introverted. We start looking inwards. It's no coincidence that in a yoga class, in our forward folds, we're less able to look at other people and what they're doing. And wintering is a time for looking inwards. We do things like making resolutions and thinking about the next year ahead. So forward folds fit very naturally at this time of the year. And inhaling, walking the arms back up the legs. Drawing the left knee in. And then taking hold of the foot with the right hand. So left foot with the right hand, left knee onto, left hand onto left knee. And just taking a little rock from side to side, working into that hip joint. And then either taking the foot to inside the leg, or if you have got a little bit more space, just seeing if you can fold the foot into half lotus. So kind of turning that foot onto, putting the top of the foot onto the thigh. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then taking the other option. Again, inhaling the arms up, and exhale, folding forwards into your forward fold. So there's less space in this version of it. Just allowing the exhale to unwind everything. Inhaling, coming back up. Releasing the foot out. Walking both feet out a little bit. And then picking up the right foot and just taking it from side to side a little bit. Working into the hip. Very vigorous leg movements there, Fiona. And then either taking the foot to the inside of the leg, or if it feels okay for you, bringing the foot into the half lotus position, so coming onto the top of the foot. Inhaling the arms up, and then exhaling, folding forwards into that single leg forward fold. Using the exhale to unwind everything. Inhaling, walking the hands back up. And releasing the legs out, and bringing both knees together. And just wrapping the arms around them, tucking the head in, giving yourself a really big hug. And then from here, we're going to come down to the ground, and we're going to not move there before we come into Shavasana. So if you want to bring all of your things closer so that you have them ready for Shavasana, so blankets, and if you need to, bringing your bolster into place. We're going to come into a reclining bound angle pose. So we came into bound angle pose when we were sat here, but we're going to take a reclining version of it. So you're going to take, set up slightly, so you're going to take your pillow or your bolster and put it lengthways on your mat. If you've got something to put underneath the head of it, you can do, just to prop yourself up a little bit. And then you're going to turn around so the base of the spine is in your bolster or your blanket. And you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, allowing the legs to fall out. So that same bound angle pose we had when we were sitting up. If you've got your blanket, then you can cover yourself in it. It's not quite time to sleep, but not far off. And then you're going to roll yourself down onto your bolster or onto your pillow. If you've got something to put under your head, try not to bang your elbow on anything, then you can do so. And if you want to, it might feel okay just to have the arms out at the sides, but what you can do with your blanket is bring one end of the blanket underneath one arm and then bring the other end under the other arm and just pull the ends of the blanket underneath the arm so that the blanket kind of supports you. It's quite hard to explain that without demonstrating kind of more specifically. So you might be able to work out how to do it, if not just having the arms resting there. And then just using the exhale to and if it doesn't feel comfortable, then just perhaps shifting yourself off your support a little bit, walking the legs out. And if the leg position doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can always straighten the legs. And just using the breath to unwind. And we finished last week with quite a restorative yin-like pose. And this is another one. We've been focusing on opening up your hips. And this does it in a way which just allows any remaining tension to release. So when you're ready to, just releasing the arms if you have got them tucked under. And rolling yourself off your support over onto one side. And just lying there for a moment before shifting. And then if you want to do any final last poses before you come into your Shavasana, you can do. Perhaps drawing the knees into the chest or anything that you need. If you're ready to come into Shavasana, and then feel free to move into it whenever you're ready. And perhaps taking the version of it that we did at the start, so with the bolster or the pillow underneath your knees, just allowing the lower back to relax. And if you have an eye pillow, placing one over the eyes. Perhaps even lowering the lights if you can be bothered to move yourself. It's a time of year where it's quite special to do a practice by Christmas tree light or by candlelight. And again, it further just allows us to draw within, to shut out all of the distractions and things that drain our energy. Even positive things can drain our energy, like thinking about presents and cards and plans for seeing people and festive meals. So I'm just going to let all of that go for now. And taking a big inhale in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth, releasing everything, releasing the feet, releasing the legs, releasing the hips, Releasing the abdomen, the lower back. Releasing the chest and the upper back. Releasing the arms. Releasing the shoulders. And releasing the face. Snow and snow. Snow is sometimes a she, a soft one. Her kiss on your cheek, her finger on your sleeve in early December, on a warm evening, and you turn to meet her saying it's snowing, but it's not, and nobody's there, empty and calm as the air. Sometimes the snow is a he, a sly one. Weakly he signs the dry stone with a damp spot. Wayfish he floats and touches the pond and is not. Treacherous beggarly he falters and taps at the window. A little longer he clings to the grass blade tip, getting his grip. Then how she leans, her furry fox wrap she nestles the sky with her warmth and the earth with her softness. How her lit, crowding fairylands sink through the space silence to build her palace, till it twinkles in starlight, too frail for a foot or a crumb of soot. Then how his muffled armies move in all night, and we wake and every road is blockaded, every hill taken and every farm occupied, and the white glare of his tents is on the ceiling, and all that dull blue day and on into the gloaming, we have to watch more coming. Then everything in the rubbish-heaped world is a bridesmaid of her miracle. Dunghills and crumbly dark old barns are bowed in the chapel of her sparkle. The gruesome boggy cellars of the wood are a wedding of lace now taking place. Taking a breath in and taking a breath out. And bringing some small movements into the fingers and toes. Trying to wake the body up. Stretching the arms up above the head. And taking a stretch through the body from the toes to the fingertips. And then perhaps drawing the knees into the chest. And taking a little rock from side to side. Making a pillow for the head with the arm. Rolling over onto your side. And taking a pause before coming up. In your own time, bringing yourself up to sit. Bringing the hands down by the sides. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling down through the center line. And I thank you very much for your practice this evening and for you joining me. And I hope to see you next week. And I did say in my email, if you have got people staying with you over the festive season and they would like to join as well, if you're happy to share a screen, then you can they can join along with you for free. And yeah, it'd be nice to see some other people. See you next week.